Wouldn't It Be Nice? One of the Beach Boys' most famous songs. This is the song that kicks off their masterpiece, Pet Sounds, and it's actually one of my favorite Beach Boys songs, my favorite Brian Wilson composition probably of all time, with this and God Only Knows. Now this song begins in the key of A. The little opener is in A. That's an A. But then, the body of the song, in other words, once we pass that little intro, the body of the song is in the key of F, okay? And then later on you'll find that it reverts back to A over the bridge, which we'll get to later. Okay, so let's check this out. The key of F, nothing to be afraid of. Let's check this out. We're starting in A, right? So we're playing this A chord. This is an F shape, four-fingered A chord inversion right here, right? So we're on the 7th fret, our pinky and our ring finger on the 7th fret, right? And we begin by going, right? Look at my right hand for this, because there's some single string action going on here on the 3rd string. Look at this. That's single string, that's on the 3rd string. So we're going, still look at my right hand. Okay, look at my left hand for this measure. Right? Now we're in the 2nd measure. So we got these open strings, the 2nd and the 1st string, that start the 2nd measure, that allow us to, what? They allow us to shoot up here, right? That's the 10th fret of the 2nd string with my middle finger, the 11th fret of the 3rd string with my ring finger, okay? Right? This is the 9th fret, 3rd string, index fingers on the 7th fret of the 2nd string. Okay, so we got those measures, the 2 measures that kick off the song. Back to this position, this is the 3rd measure. Now watch this. That's measure 4. I'm playing a C chord. I'm barring that 5th fret on the, I'm barring the 5th fret of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. And I'm going. Now we're coming into the beginning of the vocal melody. Right? You get that. Wouldn't it be nice? Okay, that's measure 5 and 6 together. Now, it's important to look at my left hand while I'm doing those measures, because I keep this barred as I'm adding my middle finger on that 6th fret 2nd string and my pinky on the 7th fret 1st string. So watch, I'm going to do it again. Remember, this is barred. So it really takes a lot of strength, you'll find. Oh, sorry. Right? Now watch this. We can lose this position, go down to this position here. My index finger's on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Pinky is on the 5th fret of the 1st string, right? We're going to go. That's pretty simple, right? No barring going on here, just 2 fingers fretting 2 strings. But look what I do. See that? And that leaves us at the 8th measure. We're beginning the 8th measure. So 7th measure again. 8th measure. Now that's the 9th measure. So what happened was, I go back to the barred position. And that's midway through the 8th measure. 9th measure. We've already done this before, so I'm not going to explain this too much. That's the 9th and 10th measures, which is exactly the same as the first 2 measures of the song. The first 2 measures of the vocal melody, which is actually measures 5 and 6. Okay, so we just did 9 and 10. Now we're here. Now what I just played after 9 and 10 was 11 and 12, okay? We've already done that, okay? So now we come to measure 13. That's a D minor chord. Watch this. We're going to go, you're going to look at my right hand for now because I'm doing some single string. See what I did? All those notes, da 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 da, were all on one string. Okay? So look at my left hand now when I do that. Right? I'm adding the open first string, okay? And then we're going to go, right? Here's the thing, look at my right hand. When I play these two notes, I like to go thumb on the second string, middle on the first. If you feel you'd rather go index on the second and then middle on the first, I'm talking about my picking fingers. Index on the second, middle on the first for your picking, go ahead. For whatever reason, I feel more comfortable with my thumb hitting that second string. Oops, take two. Those are the last three notes of measure 13. So we got measure 12 and 13 now taken care of. Watch this. Right? Actually, that's all measure 13. Now that was measure 14. That's pretty easy. I'm just going 3rd fret, 5th fret on the 3rd string. Both those frets are the 3rd string. Okay, then we're on the 15th fret, 15th measure. Right? Watch this. Left hand. Okay, now look at my right hand for this measure. Okay, we're on measure 15. Those last two notes of measure 15 are single string. Right? So watch this. Now in measure 16, we're going to jump way up here. That's an A minor chord. That's where we're going to jump to. Ring fingers on the 10th fret, middle fingers on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. Okay, ring finger, 1st string, 10th fret, middle finger, 2nd string, 10th fret, index finger, 3rd string, 9th fret. Okay, so looking at measures 15 into 16, watch this. Look at my left hand. Actually, yeah, my left hand. See how I did that? I went right up there. I'll do it again. Now I'm going to play 15 and 16 straight through, all the way to the end of 16. Right? That's pretty much just all on this position. Measure 16. Then I'm here, measure 17. Right? So what I'm doing is I'm barring the 3rd fret with my index finger. It's the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings that I'm barring specifically. Okay? And I got my pinky out here on the 5th fret of the 1st string. So I'm going to go. Wait. Let me see. I got to do it in context. So I'm going to add the 16th measure first. Right? Right? Now we're going to go to measure 18. So what I did was I took that bar, moved it up here to the 5th fret. Now what we're going to do is begin a second round of this vocal melody. Da 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 da. So this is all stuff we've done before. So I'm not going to explain too much that's going on here because we've done it, right? That was measures 18, 19, and 20. Okay, we've done those before. Now we're in measure 21. Okay. Now we're in measure 23. okay? I just stopped on measure 26. So measure 25. Okay, through to the end of measure 26, and now we're in measure 27. We've done this already. Now we're in measure 29. Right? What, sorry, let me do that again. Okay, we've done that before. So this is measure, the last three notes that I played were the beginning notes of measure 32. So let's see what we got here. Oh, wouldn't it be nice, right? That last note is the beginning of measure 33. So measure 32 again. See that? Look at my left hand. Release the bar. Release the bar. Those last two notes are single string on the second string. Look at my right hand. Okay. Now we come into measure. Well, that's that note. That's an F, by the way, 6th fret of the second string. That's the first note of measure 33. So we're going to go. Wait. Take two. I just played measures 32. I'm sorry, measures 33 and 34. Do it again. Look at my right hand for this, because there's some tricky picking patterns going on here. Your middle finger momentarily leaves the first string and is doing some picking on the second string, which I believe it's actually been doing for other measures in this song too. Watch this. See that? My right hand, I'm going index, thumb, middle. Then I'm going middle, thumb, index. So measure 33 and measure 34 together. Now we're at the part of the song which I call the bridge, which is maybe if we think and wish. Sorry, it's early in the morning. I can't hit that high E. Maybe if we think and wish, right? You know where we are if you're a Beach Boys fan. Okay, so here's what we got here. This is a crazy position. Look at this. You've done this position before, right? This is actually probably familiar to you if you've done a D chord before, or any chord that takes a D shape, which is this. So what we're doing is we're doing two of the fretted positions from this 4-finger D chord, right? We're just doing the ring finger on the 4th fret, 4th string, and the index finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Okay? So we're going to go. Look at that. I take my pinky and I throw him out there on that 5th fret of the 2nd string. So we're going to go. Right? Here we go. So measure 35, which kicks off the bridge, or part B, which is what we have it labeled in the tab. Right? No, I'm sorry. I played one extra note. It's actually. Right? Now watch, look at my left hand. I lose that position. I go. And that's the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. Right? Then I lose him. And I play the 4th fret of the 4th string. Then I lose him. Play the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Then I play that note. My pinky's on the 4th fret of the 4th string. Then I play the open 3rd string. So measures 35 and measure 36, we're going to sound. It's going to sound like this together. That last note is the beginning of measure 37. All right, so measure 37. Right? Did you see this? Look at my left hand. I've got my ring finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string, and I've got my index finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, right? So we're back in this familiar position. Remember we talked about this? Two fretted positions or 2 fretted fingers that would make up this D chord, but we're just playing those 2 fretted positions, okay? So again, measure 37. So what I did was this, I went, so I've got that position, look at my left hand, I've got that position that I just mentioned, right? Then I hammer on to the 4th fret of the 3rd string with my pinky, right? And then I take him off. So that's all of measure 37. Take 2. Now 38, look at this. I'm playing this, look at my left hand, I'm playing this chord, which is a B minor chord. So what I've done is this. From this position, I added my middle finger to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then I add my pinky to the 4th fret of the 4th string. So instead of this, now it's this, right? It's B minor. It's a B minor chord. Okay, so this is measure 38. So we're going, look at this. That's every single note of measure 38 minus the last note, because what happens is that last note, I have to take my hand off. I'm playing that open 2nd string now, right? So that entire measure would sound like this. Take 2. Now this, that's the beginning of measure 39. Okay? So look at this. I'm barring the 2nd fret. I'm barring the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings on the 2nd fret, and I got my ring finger on that 4th fret, 4th string. Okay. So that's the position. That's actually, if you want to know, this is F sharp minor. So the chord progression in this part of the song is la 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 la, baby, then there wouldn't be a single thing. You know the song. Okay, so measures 38, as a recap, measure 38 plus the beginning of 39. Right? And then we go back to what we did at the top of part B. Right? And that starts midway through measure 39. Now we're in measure 40. We've done that already, right? Measure 41. We've done that already too, just a few measures ago. Watch this. We're back in that B minor position now, right? You saw I added my middle finger and I added my pinky. Middle finger to the 2nd string, pinky to the 3rd string. So now we're going to take that position off. If you know the lyrics of the song, it's, oh, we could be married. That's where we're going with the song. That's high, boy, vocally. So we go beginning of measure 42. Right? Oh, we could be married. So what I did was I played those 2 open strings, but I left this position, then I went, and then I play this F-shape A chord. So it's, oh, we could be married, right? So what happens is that takes us into measure 43. So watch this. That's the last note of measure 42, okay? Okay? Those are the first 4 notes of measure 43. And that's this F-shaped A chord. Now, at the end of measure 43, we have to change this chord. We change it to this B minor. Really pretty chord in this song. It's just such a gorgeous sounding song. The song, not my arrangement necessarily, but just the original composition. Right? That's a quick change. Watch this. We're in measure 43. Watch this. Now measure 44. Look at my right hand for a second when I played those three notes. First three notes of measure 44, look at this. My middle finger's hitting the second string. And then go back to my left hand. I lose that position, and I'm going to do the same thing I did in measure 42. Right? Those two open strings. Now I'm in measure 45. We already did that already. F shape, A chord. Okay, game changer. Right? Now we're playing the C chord. We're playing two notes of the C chord. The song has now gone from A to C. So, look at my right hand. Look how I'm plucking those two strings, the third and the second string, with my middle on the second, index on the third. Okay? Now we go into measure 46. Okay? I'm just playing those notes over and over again because I'm actually trying to figure out the best way to explain this. I'm borrowing the first, second, third, and fourth strings on the 5th fret. I'm playing, look at my right hand, I'm going, right? Those are the first 4 notes of measure 46. Now look at my left hand. I lose the bar. I go. And vocally, this is where he's going, oh, wouldn't it be, right? Wouldn't it be? Now we come to measure 47, measure 47. Nice. So let's look at measures 46 and 7 together. It's going to make most sense if we actually, it's going to make the most sense if we actually consider those two measures as one unit. Watch this. Right? That's measures 46 and 7 together. Going back. That note there, that F, is the beginning of measure 47. So we're going to go. See what I did? I'm here in this position. I go. I just slide out to the 8th fret from the 7th fret with my pinky on that first string. Okay, next measure 48. Right? Look at my right hand for this. Notice my middle finger's on the 2nd string. Measure 49. That was actually measure 49 and then measure 50. It's basically a repeat. We just keep repeating that. Then we do it one more time. Watch this. See? This is the game changer. We go. Where am I? I'm in measure 49, 50, 51. Measure 52. So I go, which we've done already, and then things change. Then I bar that 5th fret, 1st and 2nd string with my index finger, right? So that's actually an A7 chord. An A7, by the way, resolves very nicely to a D, which is what this song ends on. Right? So those last few measures would sound like this. And I do what's called a retardando, which is as I'm playing that, when I get to, let's say, measure, I don't know, 50, 51, I start to slow it down. Probably measure 51. Wouldn't it be nice?